So I brought a couple of doodads with me, guys. This is the accent I'm going to try and make. This I won't be able to like fully complete the accent on this roundabout, just because it takes a lot of hand filing and stuff, as you might have seen. But this accent I bought at a flea market about 2 weeks ago, and then I thought it would be good to utilize this. So in the video, you'll see me finding this, grinding it, sanding it, flattening it, and I'm not doing like a perfect cleanup on this like I did on other ones, because this I want to actually use. So I'm not so concerned about this being like dead sexy smooth. So it's sharp. It's not sharp enough to shave yet, but if you guys wanted to touch it and pass it around, you'll see. Yeah, just try not to drop it on the sharp side. And then you guys have seen this. Anybody ever see this video?
Oh, yeah.
So this was the inspiration for tonight. So this is a test to see how this is going to work out. You know, we're gonna try to. So I made this a couple weeks ago. It's the first time I used it was today. It's big and cumbersome, but I actually have a lot of shit in it. So here's my Filson vest.
How much did you get paid to say that?
They let me make an axe handle in here. So you guys can see a lot of times everyone wants to know what I shoot. Lately I've been shooting the whole entire, my bee video, not Dave's, but my whole bee video. Anybody see the bee house video?
Yeah.
This whole video was shot with these little GoPros. These little, I like these things. I don't know if they're selling them anymore because they just came down in price. So these are really nice. The color on these is really nice inside and out. I noticed, for instance, like other GoPros don't adjust the color very well, so that's kind of annoying. But these work well. So I'm going to set a couple of these up before I actually get started. So this is a piece of ash that I got from a sawmill. Just to repeat, some of you guys just walked in, and what I'm going to do, I might have to use that video.
I link it.
I traced this off of the handle of an axe that I have upstate. So this is just a tracing, and I'm just going to go over it with this Sharpie, just so I can see it, but so you can see it as well.
What kind of wood is it?
This is a piece of ash, and these are the cutoffs from this exact piece. I got it at a sawmill near my house. I just went in and I said, "What do you got?" And he gave me. He said, "Look through the pile." So these are like when you mill up, the very first thing you do is cut off. What's that called? Cull? Cull? Anybody know what that's called? With these sawmill guys here. And that becomes firewood.
Portugal.
They just like for like $50, you can fill up the whole back of a truck with this stuff. But for moochers like me, you could really get some good yield out of these pieces. So I learned from my drawing teacher when I was a kid, draw from your shoulder. Don't draw from your wrist. That's how you get nice fair curves. So the whole time I'm kind of improvising and sketching when I do these things. I usually speed this up so it looks much cooler. So now I got to make a curve that goes like this, and it's hard to do that, so I'm going to flip the wood over. This is considerably fat, so I'm going to cut the profile first, and then I'm going to start sculpting it. So wish me luck on this bandsaw. I'm going to change the blade. I warned that the blade is dull, so.
Is it alright if I come round? Is it too late if I come now? Would you stay up to figure this out? If I stay
Now goes free.
First place. I got more. Yeah, that was a brand new blade, so I'm nervous now. We'll see what this does. You guys might all have to walk down this block to my shop. It's like walking up the hill. It's like every little step will get you to your goal. Now I just don't want to break another blade. And that blade broke. That blade was just going to break. That wasn't completely broke. We'll try a different blade.
Watch the wimpy one be the best one.
That's really like a dense wood.
Yeah. And this blade is so thin, and the teeth aren't doing this. The teeth are just like that. So it's just like, goes wherever it wants to.
Cause all I can think about is coming over, coming over. All I can think about is coming over, coming over. All I can think about is coming over, coming over, coming over.
I start to be able to connect and see where I am.
Jimmy, what's the grain consideration when you, like, which way should the grain be running where I handle like this?
We talked about a minute ago, flat saw. So the grain, you can see the grain lines here are like that. So you can imagine like a million pieces of, you know, whatever, 100 pieces of metal, like straw, like this. If it was,
So you don't want the grain to be going this way along.
yeah, if the grain was like that, chances are it'll snap somewhere along. But if it's like this, it's the strongest option. Has anybody sculpted on a bandsaw like the way I do, like a Sam Malouf style a little bit? When you do it, I always typically do this corner like that, the closest to the table, because if it binds up, it's just going to go and it'll stop the blade. If you go like this from the top corner, which I'll do too, but you got to be careful. If it binds up, it's going to snap against the table like that and be really scary. This bandsaw will just stop moving. A real bandsaw will like pull it out of your hands and get you scared. So that's just something to be considerate of when you do start sculpting. Always sculpt like with the lowest thing to the table.
You don't want to be on the other side of the blade.
Bandsaws, you don't get hurt as much. I mean, to get hurt on a bandsaw, you got to be like a
You gotta be careful.
Piece of wood
You gotta be careful.
shouldn't be on the other side of the blade though.
You know, over here?
Like, take the whole thing and just put it on the other side. Yeah, like that.
It's the same consideration.
Same thing?
Yeah, because it'll snap down.
Okay.
But I mean, the ways I've ever gotten hurt on a bandsaw, and you guys probably all have the same thing. Like the Delta's got this blade entrance here, and I've always like cutting signs all day long. You get monotonous. You're cutting signs, and you're always sweeping the guard out here. And then a little chunk gets caught in that slit, and you go dink like that, dink. That's how. I've done that probably 5 times in my life, where I'm like, ooh, and I jam my thumb into the running blade. I have the same scar in the top of itself like 4 times. See that? It always shows me with my dirty hands. So that scar is from doing that. And that's, like I said, you gotta be completely careful.
You gotta be trying to hurt yourself.
And if you're pushing and pushing and pushing, and then something gives way, and I mean, that's how you always get hurt most of the time. When you look down at it, you can see. You can almost hand draw it, but I mean, I'm not doing a great job. But I'm looking at what has to come out.
Every time I look at your name, I'm suddenly high. If you feel the same, I would do almost anything. I give away this, give away that. All of my shoes, all of my highs, all I.
This is which one?
Bring that tiny little plane in.
Oh.
That little freaking thing.
Do you guys see that little Marco Trinisi plane that I bought? If anybody doesn't know who Marco is, you gotta look him up. He makes miniatures, but like If it's not exact, like it went into some special machine, like it got shrunken, he won't make it. It has to be exactly the way, perform exactly the way, but small.
Dude, I couldn't believe the size of that.
Totally.
I couldn't
It
believe
has
the
like a
size.
little adjustment, chip breaker shoe and
That's like
everything.
a violin. They
Yeah.
make little planes like that
Yeah.
to make Lucius do.
Yeah, I think it's a Lee Nielsen number 62, but small. It's a plane that should be like this long and it's this big.
Dude, it's great.
He made only 25 of them, and when he started making them, I was like, I have to have them. I said to him, I want to buy more of this stuff.
All I can think about is coming over, coming over. All I can think about is coming over, coming over. All I can think about is coming over, coming over, coming over.
But the table saw, that's like one thing, like I guess, as we use tools, you ever see a baseball get hit and it squishes? You can only imagine what happens to blades and drill bits and all kinds of stuff. So that when he put that piece of steel into the table saw, it just went, I wasn't there, but he said it just went boom! And the blade was like wrapped behind the guard. And the blade must have just like wobbled and went right behind the guard. So we had to take like the whole table saw top apart to get it out from the other side. It was my table saw. That's why I was annoyed. If he told me, no, this is my old one before the saw stopped. Yeah. If he told me I just cut steel on my table saw, I would have been like, that sucks.
I cut steel in your table.
Yeah, I was like,
So you keep the last piece on until the end so you can hold it.
yeah, no, that's so that when I set the head, like once I get the head fit on there, I go like this,
The back. Yeah.
like that. And I gotta be careful because if, in the right grain, I can hit that, it'll break off right through there. So I'm hitting it right here, like that. With my Super Mario. But let me just take a couple minutes with this and see. I'm gonna look around. Try and get this to handle. See, in my life, I've never had a proper woodworking table. Like a lot of the guys, but maybe I don't do proper woodwork, I don't know. But I never had a proper woodworking table like, a lot of the guys build on YouTube. And it's only just because A, I'm like partly lazy, and B, because I just don't have the room. If I had the room, I'd go out and buy a beautiful one because I hate making stuff like that. But
Like JB, the ones that he made.
like Jay made and the Samurai Carpenter just made a really
Yeah, he made
beautiful
all
one.
that.
Yeah.
With Bravo, split top table.
I never had the room or the time, but I always, like when I'm doing this, I wish I had one of those. But I'm working against the floor and it's working great. So I buy those 3 types of blades whenever I buy. I buy like 10 or 15 of each. And I constantly switch them out. They last me because I'm always switching them out. I mean, now that I have 2 14-inch deltas in my shop, and one always has a resaw blade on it, and one has either the 3/8 or 3/8 inch. But I used to bandsaw letters all the time. If you guys notice, obviously now I'm using the CNC machine much more often. I actually,
Yeah, you
I,
said,
go ahead, no,
your
go ahead.
father taught you used to do it for money.
Oh yeah. When I talk about it a couple times, but when we were little kids in elementary school, my dad got the idea to give me and my brothers like a job at elementary school. When I'm like 5, 6, 7th grade, we'd go to school and ask everybody, do you want it? We'd bring a couple samples with us, a little sales kit, and we'd show, and it would be a sign, basically like on 3/4 inch thick pine. And this is my dad would always do this. He'd go like this, and then he would just bubble letter. He would go. Say Jim, and then we would just bandsaw that out. And anytime there was like there was a circle, we would just drill a little 1/8 inch hole in it. So, I mean, just for lack of a Joey. I meant to write Joey. Ken Steiner.
Is that the first thing you didn't write the rest of?
It is. I started to. Actually, that being said, they probably don't want to spray paint in the store, but if anybody wants to spray paint the rest of it. on the sidewalk or on the fire truck.